Welcome. welcome. My name is Carolyn Howell. Welcome to rtv.network. If you're looking at us on the internet, if you're watching the show, you're already in the right place. And I am happy to be here for the pre-launch of Our Story Book Club with Dawn Francis. Welcome, Dawn Francis.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad
We're
to
really,
be here.
we are really excited to have you here, and we're really excited to start this very special book club. Book clubs have been famous for a very, very long time. They're extremely popular. But what makes this is going to make this a whole lot different is the fact that we are going to be bringing on the authors specifically for things. But before we do any of that, we want to know about you. You're going to be hosting the Dawn Francis show, the book club show. So we want to sink our teeth into who you are. So do me a favor, tell our listeners and our viewers, who is Dawn Francis?
Well, I am a wife to a wonderful husband. His name is Leon. I am an auntie. I'm a sister. I'm an educator. I'm a musician, psalmist, minister, all of those things all encapsulated into this one being, I guess you would say.
Oh, I love to hear that. And I want to explore some of those roles. So first of all, you're an educator. Tell me what you do and where are you based out of?
I am an educator in Howard County Public Schools.
And
I
that's in Maryland.
mhm, and I'm a music teacher. I teach choral music and I teach general music. I've been doing that for quite some time because music it's like my first love, one of my first loves, I should say. And so I love teaching children how to sing and adults how to sing. And I love just inspiring people musically.
Oh, I
So
love that. Oh
it's
my goodness.
it's a beautiful thing.
So, I mean, are you teaching instruments or is this all about vocals and voice?
Well, in general music, we do piano and guitar and drums, and in chorus, of course, it's all about the voice and singing and harmonies and group singing and all that wonderful stuff. But in general music, yes, we do instruments. And I'm actually a trumpet player. I started playing
Are
trumpet
you
when I was in the
serious?
fourth grade. Yes. So it's just, it's a love. I love band and orchestra. I love it all. It's just, I don't know. It was instilled in me
Wow.
as a child.
So I'm stuck on a trumpet player, and that's a terrible stereotype. Clearly, I had in my mind because I'm not looking at you and thinking trumpeter. If you told me violinist, okay, celloist. If you had something, maybe even a trombone, but a trumpet, there's something about a trumpet that's playing reveille. I mean, I'm just not seeing. Really?
Yes.
And
Yes.
you
I
you
love
perform with
playing
the
the trumpet.
trumpet?
Absolutely. And I was really good at it too. I used
Oh
to
my
give the
goodness,
boys a run for their money because,
that's what
a
I'm
lot of
talking
guys were
about.
trumpet players. And I would do my best to just beat them.
Oh, I love it. So you're teaching music in school because largely there's always been such a large outcry that music's been taken out of school. So you're doing that, which if you're doing it in school, that means you have a love for children.
Oh, I absolutely love children. I love working with youth. Always love working with youth. It's just, it's passion, and I feel like it's a gift because, you, if you don't love working with youth,
No,
they will give you a run for your money.
no, there's no question. There's no question about it. So now you're classically trained as well.
Yes,
So
I
in
am.
what aspect?
I received my master's degree from the Peabody Institute of John Hopkins as
Mm,
a
say
classical
that twice.
performing
Say
artist.
that twice.
So I have a master's degree in performance from the Peabody Institute of John Hopkins.
That's impressive. And I love it. And I would love if I had a teacher that was teaching my children, I would want those kind of credentials. I mean, everybody can't do that and they can't be Dawn Francis, but you certainly can. So we've got the educator piece and I see the musician piece, but you're also an author. How
Yes.
did that happen?
You know, I feel like it's a calling. Um, I I felt a call to write, and with the first book is a book that speaks about my musical journey as a vocalist, and it's 12 effective singing habits for singers. And so with that book, just speaking about my journey of transforming from gospel to classical to all of that, and the training aspect of it to help singers to have a better understanding of their vocal mechanism. And so with that particular book, that's what I started off with. And then once that book came out, I had people coming to me and asking me, can you help me? I mean, I want to write, I want to write, I want to write, I want to write. And I was like, I learned a lot of lessons through that process because, I took classes, and how do I write this book? What do I do? How do I do it? And so then I had people coming and asking me, can you help me? And so, my heart is always to be a help, you know.
Oh, I love that.
So friends, family, and people who, even strangers, can you help me? And so from that, that's kind of where that birthed, of me just wanting to help others to write so that they can be pushed into their purpose, catapulted into their purpose. And so from that, that is where it was birthed.
Okay, so this is what I want to understand because people always say everybody has a book inside of them. I don't know if I believe that's true. But if you're not a storyteller, like
Mhm.
your first book, 12 steps to effective
Singing.
singing, which to
Uh-huh.
me, I mean, to me, this is truly informational and instructional. I get that you're this musical genius, and now you're creating this because you learned some things and you're teaching lessons learned to others. But does everybody really have a book in them?
Well, I would say this: they may not have a book in them, but their experiences, what they go through, um, if it could be put into words, it could be a help to someone else. And that's my thing.
Wow.
It's like the experiences that people have. It's like if you've gone down that road and I'm getting ready to go down that road, you know where the potholes are. You know what's around the corner. And if you tell me, it's up to me then to decide to duck and dodge those potholes or not to go down that road because there's something there that's not going to be good for me. But if people keep it to themselves, they don't share. And in our society, that's something that people don't share. And when
Yeah,
they
that's
don't,
really true.
they don't share their experiences so people can learn and grow from those experiences. And to me, that's a disservice. I mean, I think it's, whether they write a book or not, I know everybody's not going to write a book, but at least you could be willing to share your experience.
Wow. No, what you're saying really resonates with me because I'll be honest with you. There are people who won't share a recipe. You're like, I had that punch. It's so amazing. What's in it? I can't tell you because that was my mother's and my auntie's. So I'm like, wait, hold on. Really?
It's a secret.
It's a secret. And so, and oftentimes, now obviously, not knowing someone's punch recipe may not change my life in an amazing way. But if, like you said, if there is a story that they have to share that can help me navigate better, I would really like to know that.
Right.
So now you have people who have stories that have happened in their life, and are they coming to you because they think they want to be an author, or do they maybe think they have a chapter that they could lend to somebody? How, I mean, what's that approach?
Um, with the first Discovering Strength series, I kind of went to people that I knew who had a story. And you know how, we go to those who we're connected to. And some of them had spoke to me about their stories, and others, or not so much their stories, but their desire to write. And then others, I knew their story. And I'm like, you need to put that in writing. You need to put that in writing because somebody needs to read about it and grow from it. And
Wow.
so with that, there was push. And if you talk to them, they'll tell you I was really pushing them.
Okay,
But
so
yeah.
this is discovering strength. So now we've got your first book out of the way, published, it's good, people are seeking you out, but then you decided, so you mentioned the series, there is a series, or at least initially any series had to start with a one. So
Right.
there was a book that you are responsible for, that you help author, or
Mhm.
collaborative effort, that is called Discovering Strengths. And
Yes, ma'am.
when did that start?
Well, it started actually during the pandemic. And
Okay.
um, the stories, I spoke with, there are actually 16 authors who wrote in this book. And each of them have a unique story that is amazing, where they are sharing, being very transparent about their experiences. And for some of them it's pain, and for some of them it's hurt. And they talk about how they got their strength and how they were able to get through whatever it was that they were going through at the time. We also have a male author who speaks about laughter. Um, and he speaks about how laughter got him through difficult situations in life. And he's actually a comedian as well. So,
Are you so, and he's in that book. So the
yes,
very first book is called, what's the official title of that book?
it's Discovering Strength, Harnessing Strength During Times of Uncertainty.
Which is a perfect pandemic title.
Yeah.
Harnessing Strength During Times of
Uncertainty.
Uncertainty. And uncertainty is probably the best thing because we were clearly uncertain on so many levels.
Right.
So we're going to be taking a break in just a few seconds, but when we come back, I want to know what made you think. I mean, did you pick up the phone and ask 16 people? Did you know it was going to be 16? I want to get into what that looks like
Okay.
because I want you to tell us about what's coming next and then how this book club is going to be absolutely phenomenal. I'm just giddy with excitement, which is actually an emotion I really love.
Yeah,
So sit tight. We'll be back with Don Francis, and we're going to talk more about discovering strength.
awesome.
Hello, and welcome to Behind the Inspiration Podcast, the show that encourages and motivates with our 5-minute interviews of inspiration. My name is Ken Waller, and I am your host. The Behind the Inspiration Podcast is a part of my moving forward by helping others identify what true inspiration is. Behind the Inspiration Podcast was developed to provide a platform for sharing awesome, uplifting stories by individuals inspired by events or situational experiences in their lives. You know, inspiration motivates you to be better and to do better. Different things inspire different people. There is so much inspiration in this world. It's important that we start to highlight the things that inspire us versus the things that are destroying us. The Behind the Inspiration Podcast can be heard right here on Anchor Podcast or on the podcast platform of your choice. Thank you in advance for tuning in.
Yay! We're back. Don't you love it? I mean, the commercials, you get so into them. I'm moving with the music. I love our TV.network. I'm loving the fact that this channel exists and it puts us in touch with incredible people like you. And so we were talking a little bit about a series. Well, we're going to call it a series, but when it started out, a book called Discovering Strengths,
Mm-hmm.
Finding Strengths in Times of Uncertainty. So it's a pandemic. School is closed. All school is closed. And as far as I can tell, you're not performing with your trumpet or your voice in front of anyone. So
Right.
did you just wake up and say, well, it's time to get that book ready? I mean, how did that even happen?
You know what? I don't even know exactly how it started. All I know is I felt a push and a drive.
Okay.
And if you speak to any of my family members, they'll tell you if I start pushing and driving, I'm going to keep it going.
All right
So,
now.
and I'm the youngest of 8, so I had to be that way. Right.
Okay.
Um, right. So I reached out to people that I knew had wonderful stories. Some people, how you've watched them go through things and you've watched them come on the other side, and I'm like, oh, if you could write that story, it could really bless some lives. And so I reached out probably to about 20 to 25 people. And I said, listen, I'm looking at doing a collaborative. And I gave them the title and I gave them the essence of what it was. And I said, if you'd like to get back with me, and we just went on from there. And so, to make a long story short, out of the 20 to 25 people, the right group came about, and it was 16 authors. And they saw it all the way through to the very end. And we just kind of united together as a team. And the rest is history.
I mean, that's wild. So from conception until this book came to be something that was sent to a publisher, how much time elapsed?
I want to say probably about 8 to 12 months. Probably be about 12 months.
That's amazing because it's hard to push people to do stuff. I mean, that's early parts of the pandemic. We were saying, "Yay, we got to get to be home," and then we were saying, "Yay, we're going to organize and clean," and then we started saying, "Yay, we're going to eat something," and then we're going to eat some more, and yay, we're going to take a nap. I mean, I'm trying to imagine the
And
motivation.
then we didn't know what day it was, right?
And then we didn't know what day it was. Every day was Sunday, and there was no such thing as business hours. You call me 2 in the morning, "Hey, it's Carolyn." I mean,
Right.
so how could you keep people on a schedule? Because obviously there's gonna be a point where those pieces have to come together and be reviewed. Who does that? No, I mean, who does that?
Well, that drive. Um, I think someone called it a an invisible whip.
Oh, okay.
It's like, I need you to do this and I need you to do it now. And I'm smiling right now. Please don't make it so that I'm not going to smile at you. So please follow the deadline. Please turn it in.
And so you're used to writing curriculums and things like that. So you're sending reminders and listen, we need this many pages in. And I mean, I think we've all seen a movie where somebody was supposed to write a book and it's like, I'm on deadline and my brain has frozen. I can't think of anything else. Was it anything like that?
Let's say it was absolutely very trying at times with 16 different personalities, 16 different giftings, and it came together very well, and it truly has been a blessing. Um, just the connections and just the strength of us pulling together, and it's done some amazing things, even as I'm thinking, it's connected people who weren't connected, and it's connected some people who were connected from a long time ago, and then they came back together again, and it's been marvelous because it's also been very healing
Okay.
for some of the people who were able to read the book, and I had a family member who read one of the chapters, and he said, I was at your house during that time, and I remember, and I never thought I would ever see this in writing. But he kind of experienced a
Wow.
portion of the story because he was there and visiting at the time. And so it's kind of like you just never know how you'll touch a person's life. because there have been people who have reached out to the authors and said how it has blessed and healed them and helped them in so many ways because the stories are so diverse. And
That's what I was gonna ask. I mean, what are the stories? Give me a sampling of what we can expect if we get this first book. So what's a sampling?
a sampling would be, we have a person who shares her story of finding love, and she found love after um, a marriage that was not what it needed to be.
Okay.
And when I say that, she goes in great detail within the story. She got married, I think, at the age of maybe 18, and when she got married, and I don't want to give the whole story away.
Oh, you better not. You know how you do, you just show a
But
little
she
ankle. Just show a
shares
little ankle.
she shares how love found her after going through a challenging situation and
Okay.
getting married and having a wonderful, happy life after the challenges that I won't share, but she
Okay.
shares them within the book. And then we have a story of a person who shares about her love and her loss because she lost her husband,
Oh
and how she was able to triumph over that and how she got through it. And she shares the whole entire story within the chapter about that love and that loss and the triumph of her becoming the person that she becoming a person after that loss.
oh,
And
wow.
we have loss, we have laughter, we have fitness, we have a person who's a fit mama, and she has four beautiful children, and she gives you her journey of weight loss and how she, triumphs through that and finds strength in becoming healthier and fit. And so we have that, and we have the laughter, where the comedian who shares how he had to, through school, use laughter to get out of situations where he was going to get beat up and dealing with names and all that. And he shares his story about how he used laughter to for healing and strength. And it's so many amazing stories. We have
I
another
love that.
another author who shares about her healing. She grew up as a child. She had a club foot,
Mm.
and through that, growing up with a club foot, she talks about her healing and how she got healed and that whole process. And she's one of our youngest authors. She's really young, but she shares her story in such a beautiful way. It just pulls you in because she shares how she became healed and she no longer has a club foot, and she goes through the process, tells you the process of that. And then we have an encourager, and she shares her story about how she's just gifted to encourage people. And
Oh
she
my.
goes through and she shares, she'd be on the phone at work, and she just continued to encourage people and share with people wonderful parts of whatever she has within her to help encourage them. And so
Oh,
it's
this is
an
so
hour and a
fantastic.
half, but it's a lot.
No, that really is. And so when we're thinking in terms of the Don Francis show, this book club, what can we expect when we see on that? Because book clubs, everybody's reading, we're getting to groups and we're reading books about authors we may or may not know personally. So what are you going to do for us on this with this book club?
You're going to be introduced to these authors, and you're going to go behind the scene because they're going to be able to tell you the whole story. They're going to be able to tell you what's behind what they wrote about
Oh
and the
my.
parts that weren't in the book. You know what I'm saying? So you'll get to know not only the characters within the book, but you'll get to know the authors as a person, and it'll you'll be able to better relate to it because that person will be give you the behind the scenes as to what that story was really about. And
Oh my goodness.
so I think it'll pull all our listeners and those who are wanting to watch, it'll pull you in to want to know more.
Well, that is exciting. So when we come back, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to dig a little bit deeper into this because this is the type of book club I'd want to be. I don't want to guess. I wonder if that's what they made. And then I hear other people interpret it. So when we come back, we'll talk more about that, Dawn.
Awesome. Thank you. Dawn Francis here. I want to invite you to the upcoming new book show. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be amazing and awesome with wonderful authors and wonderful information. It's so exciting. So make sure that you tune in and have a fabulous day on purpose. Why? Because you can. Thank you.
Beautiful downtown Naples. This is where it's at.
Yay! That Frank Pallara show, Naples, Florida, is one of my most favorite places. Over on the Gulf, I love that kind of thing anyway. So I'm just realizing that's not where I'm going to be able to go this year. But
Oh,
Dawn, thank you for coming back and for talking with us a little bit further on this book club. So as these shows take place, your 1 hour book club show, you're going to introduce us to an actual author who was part of that famous 16.
yes, I am.
And we're going to, and then what can we expect of you?
Well, you can expect us to dive in and to talk about the stories and to talk about the authors and to talk about pretext as well as within the story and its meaning, as well as we can talk about the growth from it and the strength from
Okay.
it, as well as, how it can help those who are listening and those who are watching. Um, and so the hope is that those who are listening and who are watching, that they will grow from it and that they will pull insight, pull wisdom, so that we as a people can be better and grow from one another, you
That
know.
is so good. So, one thing I want to just think in my own mind. Now, you reached out to people because they had a great story, and a
Mhm.
person is an expert in their own experience, but not everybody can put words together. So, as Dawn Francis, the collaborative oversight of all of this, were you writing the words for folks? Were you the ghost writing and so? I mean, no, really, I want to know how this works.
I will say this, not so much a ghostwriter, but I will say that I absolutely had to work with our authors, and I enjoyed helping them to dig deeper and to work harder and to give the best that they could give. And of course, we had to do the professional thing is hire professional editors.
Okay, good.
We had to do the professional thing in hiring the person who would make sure our grammar was correct and make sure our sentence structure was perfect and all of that. So we absolutely had to do those things. But before all that was done, with the authors, we spent time together and talked about their stories and making sure that it was what it needed to be. And some people had to do um, rewrites, and some
Okay.
people add to it, and some people had to change some things up to make it be what it needed to be. Although the stories, of course, had to be their stories. But
Okay.
sometimes you got to help people to dig deeper, and you got to help people to see differently.
Okay.
Sometimes, it's like you see in your head and it's your perspective, but nobody sees in your head and nobody sees your perspective. So you have to bring clarity to that. And
Okay,
so
good.
with that, we had to work at that, and it's a process, and it took time, and it was a little tedious, but it was great. And
Oh, I
each
love
author came through that finish line with flying colors. They did an awesome job, and I know that they felt a sense of accomplishment as well because they did an amazing job. They really did.
so that book is out there. Book one, how could I get a hold of it if I wanted the Discovering Strengths
It's
Through Times of Diversity?
It's on Amazon, and it did very, very well. Within the first couple of weeks, it went to bestseller in several areas.
Okay, best-selling authors,
Absolutely.
collaborator.
They did an amazing job, and people from all over were reading it and giving feedback on how it helped them and how they enjoyed reading it in so many different areas in so many ways. So, all you got to do is go to Amazon. If you put Discovering Strength, Harnessing Strength During Times of Uncertainty, it comes
Harnessing.
right up. It comes right up.
Oh, I
So,
love it.
yeah.
Okay, so how other people that are thinking about they feel like they have this book in them, or at least they're watching the show or listening to the show, and they realize, well, this is what I want to do. I want to do like Dawn Francis. Or do you consult with people? Do you actually officially help them publish, even if it's not your project?
Oh, absolutely. All they have to do is go to my website,
Which is
dawn-francis.com, and just book a session with me, and we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. I am absolutely open to helping as many people as I can, whether it be that you are wanting to be a part of the collaborative, or if you're wanting to do your own book. I'm happy to share resources, share information. Feel free to hit me up. The other thing is, if you're wanting to be a part of the collaborative, all you need to do is send me that information, and of course, we'll reach back out to you. And if it's a good fit and it works, it'd be awesome.
wow. So I could do Carolyn Howe's story, and it's my whole big thick book that I'm going to sell. That's Carolyn Howe's story. Or I could say, I don't know that I have a book in me, but I'm pretty sure I have a chapter. Can you put me with your next group of authors? And that's what you would do? Oh,
Absolutely.
well, aren't you the genius entrepreneur and businesswoman? So,
Yeah.
so when we started talking, you mentioned a Discovering Strengths series.
Yes, ma'am.
So, is there another book on the way?
Yes, there is.
Okay, so okay, it was times of uncertainty. We're still in times of uncertainty, but what is the focus of this book going to be?
Okay, this book is a book, Discovering Strength. but it's hidden insight, an educator's perspective, because you know I'm an educator.
Yes.
And this book is a book that is about educators and administrators sharing their wisdom, knowledge, and experiences. And it's extremely exciting because the stories are stories that people can grow and learn from. So I have several administrators, some retired, who share, I mean, who have a wealth of knowledge because they walked it, you know. And one of our authors, he shares his story as an administrator, of dealing with a situation where, as an administrator, and I'm only going to give you a teeny piece of it because you're going to want to read
Okay.
it. So he, as an administrator, one of his workers came to him and said, I need you to come with me right now, sir. And he went into, and he was a administrator. He went into the bathroom, and when he got into the bathroom, he saw a bomb, ticking bomb.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
are we all gathering around a ticking bomb? Wouldn't the natural call be, hey, I need you to run with me?
Well, he couldn't do that because the custodian was coming to the administrator, because the administrator had a school full of employees and children. So he says, listen, I need you to come with me. He didn't tell him what he was coming to. And so he goes into the bathroom and he sees this ticking bomb, and he does what he needs to do, and he shares that story
Oh,
of how
wow.
he made sure that everybody in that building was safe. And he gives you the entire story. And I don't want to
Okay,
take
all
nothing
right.
else
No,
because
don't say another thing because I'm already okay. So you already have me sold. I can't get that chapter. I got to get the whole book. But
right,
so if I'm not an administrator and I'm not an educator, because
mhm,
this is written from their perspective,
right.
is this going to help me as
Oh,
as
absolutely. As a
so
leader,
I don't need to be in that line of work.
no, not you don't need to be in that line of work. You could be a parent, you can be a person who works on a job, because it's about working with people, it's about leadership, it's about being the right kind of leader, it's about knowing what to do as a leader, it's about knowing how to connect with people the right way, it's about knowing how to work with young people, children, it's about knowing how to talk to people, how to respect people. I mean, that whole piece is
Wow.
all through the book. And not only that, but I'm going to give you another little secret.
Okay, good. I want another secret.
All of the authors
Yes.
are people of color.
Oh,
And as you know, every person of color has a different experience,
they
and
do.
they share their experiences in a positive light, but a truthful light that says we have different challenges as educators, as administrators, as leaders, as people, and how we work with our children. That whole piece is shared, and some of the challenges that came about, and how they had to pull their strength to get through those challenges. But through all that, they share wisdom, and they share knowledge, and they share their experience so that people can learn from their experiences. So these new administrators, these new teachers who are coming in fresh and know absolutely nothing, if they read the book, they can be a better administrator. If they read
Okay,
the
so
book,
I'm getting ready to recommend that boards of education across the country start pre-ordering this book. When is this book due to drop, if you will?
it's due to drop at the beginning of November. And pre-orders are right now. So people have been ordering the book and asking questions and asking questions. So pre-orders are right now. But the book will be in November, the beginning of
Wow.
November.
Wow. Wow. So when I'm thinking about this and I'm thinking about the fact that, okay, initially you're tantalizing us because we know at least for 16 weeks, we're going to be having a bird's eye view and conversation with the 16 authors from your first book. Now, is there going to be a book launch for this second book?
There is. There's going to be a book launch. Yes.
Well,
And
we live in a real and a virtual world. So are we to expect, well, you're such a creative person. Are we expecting something special as it relates to this? so that we can all celebrate your success.
Yes, I'm believing that it's going to be hybrid, but it's also going to be virtual. So we're hoping that everybody can tune in and watch and be a part of it all at the same time. So perhaps it'll be live here, and so you can watch and be a part of it, as well as those who are in the DMV area. If you're able to come and support and come and buy a couple of books, buy 10, 15, 20 books and
I
share
love it. Just put it on out there.
and share them with your people so that they can grow and learn. Yeah, and those details I'm sure will be forthcoming. We'll let you know if you check out our website, and we'll keep you posted so that you know when and where the book launch will be.
Oh, I am loving it. Well, we're going to this is going to be our last break before we bring it on home and get more details around your book club. So sit tight, Dawn Francis and crew. Look, as
Dawn Francis here, I want to invite you to the upcoming new book show. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be amazing and awesome with wonderful authors and wonderful information. It's so exciting. So make sure that you tune in and have a fabulous day on purpose. Why? Because you can. Thank you.
Time. It has a different meaning in the U.S. Virgin Islands. It goes backwards, forwards, it stops. St. Croix is rooted in history. So much of it still remains untouched.
I remember running on these streets as a kid. This shop was right down there. It opened the same year I was born. This is where the original Crucian hook was born. It's the symbol of these islands. And I wanted to have my hands in that very same history. I want to be able to pass it down to my family while still putting a new spin on it.
The U.S. Virgin Islands, we have an amazing culture that developed over time from all over the world.
St. John feels so untouched. Being underwater is like another world. There's no worries, there's no stress. I can just escape. This is my happy place. My passion for scuba diving came at just being fascinated with the water and wanting to be a mermaid. And this is the closest thing I can get to achieving mermaid status. Canadians just love being outdoorsy. We live for adventure, so we love anything hiking, being on the water, diving, snorkeling, and St. John has it all.
It's like some spirit is protecting the island and keeping them raw. The Makujumbi watches over the island. From up there, they keep the evil spirits away. The nightlife in St. Thomas is absolutely amazing. There's always something going on. Everyone comes together to dance and catch a vibe. We're always celebrating. We celebrate freedom, culture, the food, the smell, the music. It's always a celebration. The people here are probably the most priceless thing because they keep the culture going. There's so many different influences on these islands. Food from all kinds of countries coming together in new dishes. All of us came from somewhere, but all of we call this home. The VI is a new melting pot. This is where the past and the future comes together.
I love that play on words because I was thinking hidden in sight, but it's hidden in sight.
Yes.
Oh, I love that's like I love that dual meaning.
Yes. Yes.
So
And
they can go to discoveringstrengthsseries.com. Can they also go to your website?
they can go to my website as well. Yes.
Wonderful. This is going to be, wow, this is going to be exciting. And really, I would want to encourage, I mean, obviously, this is, they can come to the Dawn Francis show and be a part of this book club experience. But I would want to encourage watch parties for your book club. So one of the things that I notice when I'm watching people on TV, and if they're doing a book show, it's the person and the author. But is there going to be an opportunity for this audience? Because, can we live chat? Can we ask a question that maybe you don't cover?
Yes. Live chat is possible. And so I think that would be awesome. So if you have questions or comments that you would like to share with the author or myself, then you can just participate
I love it.
be very interactive. We want it to be interactive.
Absolutely. And I think that that is so amazing when you think about that. And so the whole idea of this book, so obviously we're going to be working front end on the first part of these series. So knowing you, forward thinking, lesson planner, is there something coming? Because you said series. So you got number one out the gate, and then there's number two.
Mhm.
That's called a duet. So it's series. I'm just asking for a friend. Is there something else coming after that? And are you already working on that?
Yes. So the third series will be starting at the end of the year.
Wow.
Yes, it will be. It will be
Okay,
starting at
so
the end of the year.
you are busy, and this is exciting because books are something, for a while it's like everybody, can I have it digital, can I have it this, which is fine. And then people, I think one of the things the pandemic helped people do was get back in touch with the need to touch and feel a book, if that
Mhm.
was possible, to all but to read for insight. Because let's face it, we binge watched everything.
Yes.
No, I mean, really, didn't we? And then sometimes came around the second time, and there's certain platforms that say, "Would you like to view it again?" And then you just click and watch it
And
all
it
over
just
again.
keeps playing. It keeps playing.
But the idea that my goal is always to be a life learner. I am no spring chicken, and I always want to learn. So as I'm thinking of what the authors did, every day is fresh with no mistakes on it. That's from Anne of Green Gables. So as I'm thinking about how I want to be better all the time, and I'm thinking about the stories these people are telling, what am I going to find that's going to take me along that way?
Well, I feel that you're going to find that there's going to be a story or two that will resonate with you, whether it's a connection or an experience.
Wait a minute, let me
Then-
stop you right there. Do you see Anthony Weeks has already jumped in and said, this is an example of how socially interactive the Don Francis new book show is going to be. So he's letting us know that
yes, I
that
love
he's
it.
going to put it on the screen. So if I were that author, hint, hint, if I were an author in a future book, hint, hint, I would be saying, wait a minute, we have a question or a statement from Anthony Weeks who is saying, how cool is that? How
Yes,
cool
that's
is our TV?
fantastic.
How cool
Yeah.
is our TV?
Oh, yes. It's the
This is going
best.
to be awesome. So I know I'm so sorry for cutting you off, but I just had to. I
Oh,
mean, Anthony he's behind the scenes making all the wheels go and the smoke and the mirrors, and this is perfect. This is absolutely
yes,
perfect.
absolutely.
So you were saying, I'm going to continue to find strength in various stories. So there's something for everybody. So whether I'm that educator or even in terms of the book that you already have that's out there that I can buy. And I think that there are going to be a lot of people interested in purchasing that book because
Mhm.
now I'm going to have an opportunity to hear from those authors and I can make notes along the side. This now gives me a little bit of a roadmap with my own
Yeah,
notes written in it based on what this person said.
absolutely. Absolutely. And
Dawn,
it, and
I'm excited at just the thought of this is absolutely exciting, refreshing. And if you were just an author, and I don't mean that in a any kind of negative way. If an author was the only thing you did, I think that would be amazing and wonderful. But the fact that you're an educator, you bring a set of skills, and you've got certain techniques that you use to help people enhance their learning experience, all of these things that you're going to bring to this book club. And really, I mean, you're going to knock it out of the park. The Dawn Francis Book Club show is going to be
yeah,
the place to be. So
awesome.
we're going to be looking forward to that date and that time when we're going to know that that's going to take place. But it's really exciting. In the meantime, to get ready,
Yes.
we can buy book number one.
Yes.
We can pre-order book number two.
Yes.
Now, so we'll pre-order and you're going to ship it to us when it comes, or
Mhm. If you want an autographed copy, yes, you can pick.
oh, I'm gonna say that again.
If you want an autographed copy, if you go to Discovering Strength series, the list of authors are there, and you just pick which one you'd like an autographed copy from, and we're going to send it right to your door.
Oh my goodness. And so for the book launch that's going to be taking place, there are actually going to be people in person. They can have their books multiple signed by multiple authors.
Yes, bring it.
What
Yeah,
a great gift. I mean, for any reason. It
yeah.
just so happens this is coming at the end of a year, 2021, the year that we were going to be out of the pandemic, which we
Mhm.
may or may not, remains to be seen. But so, what a wonderful way to end this year with this tool that you've already done two of so far in this series and getting ready to start number three.
Yes, yes.
Wow. Well, I'm excited. I want to make sure we welcome absolutely everybody to tune in. The details of when your show is going to happen will be forthcoming. So they'll keep their eye on rtv.network, follow you on social media, go to
Absolutely.
the dawn-francis.com webpage, and you're going to keep us all up to date when we can celebrate that very first book club show. Now,
Absolutely.
have you thought about how you're going to roll these authors out? Is it going to be in order based on where they are in the book, or have you got something? Are you grouping things, or what's it going to be?
We're grouping them in an exciting way to pull you in. So you want to be there every single time to hear what each author has to say.
Okay, see, I'm super excited already. Dawn, you have been amazing. This has been amazing. I'm so excited for you, and I'm so excited for us. You've got so much that you're bringing to the table.
Thank
And
you.
you've got so many things we can read and learn from. So, just to recap, discovering strengths, harnessing strength in times of uncertainty, already at the gate, bestseller list already there, brand new book about to drop, hidden in sight. Man, I
Yeah.
love how that looks. Whew, I love an educator's perspective, but this is designed for anybody that lives and breathes. This is going to be fantastic, and they can order it at discoveringstrengthseries.com. And
Yeah.
then we're going to get to talk to you and every week be refreshed, uplifted, and enlightened by
Yeah.
all your brilliance.
Oh, thank you so much.
Well, roll us on out of here as you tell us one last thing that we need to know about Dawn Francis before we get ready to get on this book club train.
I just want to say thank you to Miss Carolyn Howell. You are amazing. And thank you so
Anthony Weeks.
much, Mr. Anthony Weeks. And I just want to encourage all of you to enjoy life, make beautiful memories, and be better. Be the best that you can be. And coming and watching the show is going to help you to be able to do that. So
I think
please
so.
join us.
All right, absolutely join us. This is a treat you owe yourself. This is a time they need to set aside to learn, to grow, and to benefit. Congratulations on your new book club show. Can't wait to be in the audience and tapping behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Dawn, we're out of here. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Dawn Francis here. I want to invite you to the upcoming new book show. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be amazing and awesome with wonderful authors and wonderful information. It's so exciting. So make sure that you tune in and have a fabulous day on purpose. Why? Because you can. Thank you.